Hi, I'm Steve Ritchie, and I'm a senior game designer at Stern Pinball. I sort of chose the license of Star Trek. I wanted it. Isn't it cool? Yes.
Are you guys both Trekkies?
Yeah. Me, I'm a Trekkie. I can't help it. I'm a Star Trek fan from the very beginning. When I was a kid, we couldn't wait to run and stretch out in the on the carpet in front of like a color TV. Like color TV was a big thing then, okay? And there it was, Star Trek. Kind of cheesy stories, but it didn't matter. There was so little science fiction. We sucked it up. I draw the playfield and sort of steer the ship of a very large team.
I'm going to compare it to the Enterprise. You got the captain, Steve Ritchie, bouncing off walls, going 200 miles an hour.
He's driving the whole thing.
First Officer Spock, which is Greg, calm, cool, collected guy. You got Greg Ferris, art dude.
He's not just an artist. He's contributing on a bunch of levels. He collaborated on the first Star Trek game.
Right, there was a Star Trek game.
So 18 years ago, something like that.
And you guys worked on that together?
Yeah, there's Lonnie Roth. He's a programmer, no doubt.
I guess he would be Scotty. More power, more power.
Wei-Sun Chang, who is putting together storyboards. Mike Kisavat, who's doing a great job on coordinating the dots. Mark Galvez is our lead dots guy. There's an awful lot of dots. We got 5 guys doing dots, but we have a big requirement for it. This is Star Trek, folks. John Rothermel, who is the principal mechanical engineer.
He's also doing layouts of the game.
Mike Redoble, who has made a very special device for this game.
Great mechanical engineer department.
Also on the team is a newcomer, Stephen Martin. He's doing art production. Welcome Daniel Kleiss. He's software. He's making a big contribution. Also, I got to thank George Gomez for helping us out.
Everyone worked on the team. I mean, everyone.
The game is based on both the Star Trek of 2009 and Into Darkness. There's so many things to connect with pinball. It's really fun.
Star Trek is great for pinball.
They just go together.
Star Trek's awesome. Star Trek has action, lots of bad guys.
Lasers, aliens, and starships.
High adventure, lots of action.
Who does not know Star Trek?
People everywhere know what Star Trek is.
Growing up in France, you used to watch Star Trek.
Star Trek is timely, timeless.
J.J. Abrams' Star Trek is different in that it's a little more aggressive.
His take on Star Trek is definitely more action-oriented.
J.J. Abrams brings his style of writing.
I do like the way he tells a story.
Abrams took the characters and made them bigger and also younger and probably better looking.
He finds the important things that we all love, iconic stuff, but he puts a twist to that.
The entire Enterprise crew will be depicted in Star Trek, the pinball machine.
Kirk, Spock, Chekhov, Uhura, the usual crew.
And the Tribble.
They are all characters in the game.
If there's dialogue in the movie, it could potentially be in there.
We add a few other voices to guide and direct you through the game.
Besides battling Steve Ritchie, you will be battling Khan.
You're on the Enterprise. You're trying to take the Vengeance down.
Khan is in there, and he wants to blow you up.
But you'll also be fighting Nero from the first movie.
We're going to battle the bad guy. Why? Because he's the bad guy.
Khan is the quintessential villain of the movie.
He's a badass. You're also going to have a retelling of the movie.
We're taking advantage of the things that happened from the first 2 movies. Players will like this. We have 18 missions for them to do.
And then we got these side goals where the crew goes off and does stuff.
The way the game progresses, I think, will be its main feature.
My major goal is to make sure everyone that plays the game has fun.
First of all, it's a Steve Ritchie game. That comes with certain expectations.
Steve Flo Ritchie.
If you're familiar with the term flow, action, 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 ball comes back to the flipper, more action, 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 maybe a little break, but then action, fast game.
Fast and frenetic.
Smooth and fast, like a triple going warp speed.
I have painstakingly refined every place the ball goes.
There's a lot of ramp shots, so there's going to be tons of combos in this game.
Great combo shots.
They connect nice. We have some great combos in the game.
Very fast rounds. It's reminiscent of Spider-Man.
There is a something a little different that we did in this game.
There's a shot that goes around the orbit, the left orbit, comes around to the upper right flipper, and you slam the ball up the warp ramp.
And the ball goes above the left ramp and behind the back panel and comes right back at you.
You have an opportunity to do it again and again and again. It's the best rush in the game.
I was involved with making these ramps, especially this one. It's a really weird shape. This ramp is basically no flat surfaces. It's quite a challenge. These types of ramps, pretty much the same thing. Whereas this one, accessible through this flipper and then coming up above this ramp, then going back behind the back panel and then exiting on the right side. It was quite a challenge to get all these different levels smooth enough so that you would have a clean shot. Nowhere else have I ever done stuff like this.
USS Vengeance.
Can't miss that one.
It's going to explode.
You shoot it and does that, and then you shoot again, and it does more of that. It fires the ball back at you.
George Gomez has done a really good job designing what the ship will look like and what it will do.
The biggest constraint for the ship was having it tilt over like so, going forward and staying down. What I designed was a mechanism that had the ship on a spring to keep it in a position where it's down. We had a latch coil. This is basically the assembly. You have your solenoid, you have your latch coil, you have these slide guides, and you have pivot pins that basically guide this along this slot. As it's energized, what will happen is we'll go forward and fall into an angular position.
You have other things coming, you'll see.
Steve wanted to have a movable scoop. He wanted to have the opportunity to either send the ball back or throw the ball back into the ramp. The plunger that's underneath here shoots the ball, it follows this curve, ends up in the ramp, and comes back to the flipper. Every game is a challenge, okay? It's always different.
We always try to do something different in our pinball games. We've learned some things from the past, and that's where we start. And then we make it better and refine it.
What makes this game stand out from the rest?
Definitely the look, the sound. There are some very different kinds of action that take place on the game.
The storytelling, the narrative.
It's definitely going to be a standout.
The lighting on this game is going to be awesome.
This is the first pro model with LEDs.
Fully integrated. The light shows are going to be stuff you haven't seen before.
One of the most flashiest games Steve's ever done.
I'm pushing for lens flare multi-ball in this game.
All in all, it's just great Steve Ritchie fun.
I'm very happy with the way the game plays, absolutely. You know what? The pinball playfield, once it's working, kind of tells you what you need to do. And that's how you make the best game, I think. You let the playfield decide, oh, that's a natural right there. I think most everybody is curious, will be curious about playing this machine with some of the things we've got on it. Even if you're not a Trekkie, I think our gadgets and our attractiveness, you know, the artwork, everything we're going to do is going to be very special.
My favorite character is
My favorite character is Khan because he's a badass.
Benedict Cumberbatch. As an actor, I'm just going to say he's just better than everybody.
Scotty, Simon Pegg does a good job playing him.
I'd say Kirk.
James T. Kirk. Everyone says Kirk?
We all want to be Kirk. Come on now, Green Alien Women.
It is probably Spock.
For me, it's always been Spock.
If I was on the Enterprise, I think I'd like to drive the ship. Punch it.
I would run the engine.
I would probably be working on the warp engine to get them to run on vegetable oil, like my car.
Definitely I would not be a red shirt.
I'd like to be captain, but I'd probably be working my way up still, because everybody wants to be captain, right? So I'm thinking red shirt. They get to see a lot of action.
I'd be wanting to get off as quickly as possible because I'm not real good with flying.
You don't f***ing know? The captain, of course. What other job could I have? Avast, ye scurvy Kirby gutter snipes. Do what I say. Now run and get the captain a nice cup of rum. Now!